So the score right now, 44-20. The Bowling Green Warriors leading over the Hendersonville Crusaders, 44-20 up in Hendersonville. So Bowling Green, looks like they're guaranteed to get that win as they go to play their final game of the regular season against Madisonville next week.
Yeah, they will.
And Trent and the Bowling Green Bias. As Lighthouse takes over on the 37-yard line of the Patriots. McDowell across the middle, intended catch incomplete, but flag thrown on the sideline. I believe they may call pass interference here.
Is that what they called it? Is that what pass interference?
They might. Looks like it could be pass interference here, but we'll see what the referee calls. It is pass interference on the defense. So they'll move it up to, they'll move it up 10 yards, 15 yards for pass interference. So 1st and 10 for the Lions on the 24-yard line. So the lucky break for the Lions is Ricky McDowell alone in the shotgun. McDowell across the middle. It is caught and dropped. Did he establish? No, he did not. The referees ruled that incomplete. 2nd and 10. It looked like Nate Hall may have established himself as a runner before dropping the ball.
I think he was just running kind of where the ball was going, not running with it. Because he started, muffling, he didn't completely catch it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the referee, of course, having a better angle than we do up here in the box. Well, we have a good angle for broadcasting, but not a good angle for making the officiating call on that one. And here's 2nd down and 10. Here's a rush on the right side. McMurray's staying on his feet to the 17-yard line.
17-yard line.
Here's 3rd down and 4. A timeout called. One of the Lions players is down. It's Malik McMurray down in the field. This could be very crucial. Be a very bad injury for the Lions. Injury timeout. Third down and 4. McMurray will be looked at on the sideline as flags thrown. I believe a false start on the offense. The scent of calories is in the air here at MLK Park, MLK Junior Park. Flag ruling. Okay, so signal referee is giving, at least what we're indicated by the official up here in the press box, is that the signal is for an illegal equipment usage, like a mouthpiece out or something like that. So the Lions move back 5 yards. A toss across the middle, incomplete. Looked like it was intended for 7 of the Lions. We don't have his number on the roster either. You got to update some of these numbers with Coach Sharp at some point.
What are you talking about? We got like 2 more weeks, 4 more weeks.
Well, I mean, we got to update these numbers so that we can, if they go through the playoffs, we can call them accurately.
Or the All-Star game.
Well, yeah, or the All-Star game, depending on which players head to the All-Star game.
Who knows who's going?
We do, and the people who have been invited, we do.
Not the 0 people watching.
Not the people watching, though, not necessarily. It's a direct snap, Parker Dillon on the left side. Parker Dillon into the end zone for a Lions touchdown.
Touchdown, Lions.
He's fast.
Parker Dillon with a lot of speed there. 10:45 left to go in the third. Lions and Patriots keeping it interesting. We'll see the 2-point conversion attempt. So 32 unanswered points by both teams here, Trent. I mean, it's something to say that going into the practice, both teams will focus on defense more heavily. The rush here by McMurray, who is back in the game and gets 2 on the board. The Lions take the lead, 34-32.
No, I'm not knocking you, but are you saying that correctly? 32 unanswered points.
What I'm saying, both sides 32 unanswered. I don't know if it's necessarily, correct if they're unanswered, but at least with the
answer and they picked up the phone call.
Yeah, they may have very well picked up the phone call there. 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Bowling Green 51-20 over Hendersonville. So essentially a guaranteed win there for the Warriors at Hendersonville. And of course, both teams not going to the playoffs, so at least a good game for them to play final games with their seniors.
There might be 3 teams in the. Might be 3 teams in the north that have to
Bowling Green. Okay. Yeah, if they forfeit, yeah.
They have ineligible players. They have to.
Now,
forfeit.
to be fair, if one team did forfeit, Bowling Green would go into probably the bowl game because, as we see, ball lost by Southaven and recovered. Waiting for the referees. Here's a lost ball by the Patriots. And the referee rules it to Southaven. Lucky to recover the ball there. But, Trent, you were suggesting, Trent, if a team were to forfeit due to ineligible players or something like that, then Bowling Green would go in because Hendersonville is ineligible. They declared themselves ineligible at the beginning of the season, so Bowling Green would likely get the bowl game slot.
Yeah. Come on, someone pull a Sacred Heart.
We don't want that in this league.
No, we don't. No.
Yeah, we don't need any more controversy in the league than already happens on a daily basis.
Well,
They got the coin toss to deal with this year, man.
This might be more of a show talk, but is Sacred Heart coming back in the league next year?
They have the eligibility to because they're suspended 1 year and they can reapply. But the question is, will the conference board let them come back in? Because with Sacred Heart, 2 years in a row, they used ineligible players. The league warned them in 2015. Then 2016, when they found out about the players, they were immediately kicked out of the league and revoked of their championship.
I mean, if they don't, what other 8-man league are they going to join?
They may not. I think they played some 11-man games and such. Like teams like Christian Community have played them. So have some other teams around the league. I believe the Tennessee Heat are looking to play Sacred Heart as a toss across the middle, almost intercepted by 7 of the Lighthouse Lions. That's James Reed. We finally hear his name there. James Reed almost getting the interception for Lions. It's now 2nd and long. But Sacred Heart likely, we actually heard about this next week. I believe Southaven stated if they are going to the playoffs, they were originally going to play the Heat because that game was rescheduled due to the hurricane storms coming in on September 1st. So it is currently on the schedule. Southaven hosting the Heat next week here in Springfield. But Southaven has stated that if they are in the playoffs, which I believe they're at least guaranteed a bowl game, that they will not be playing the Heat, and the Heat would be scheduling Sacred Heart to host them at Mont Juliet.
Would that affect their chances at anything? Or would the league sit down and be like,
If you're talking about for Southaven, no, because it's an interdivision game because Heat's in the South, Southaven's in the North, and also the Heat declared themselves ineligible for playoff contention.
Now, what about the Hendersonville Lighthouse game?
That doesn't make. We talked about this on the show. You're just not remembering any of this crap.
I remember.
Yeah, but in terms of Hendersonville, they've declared themselves ineligible for playoff contention, and even though with the canceling of that game, to our knowledge, it is likely the league will not penalize them for that because Hendersonville canceled on them, but we just don't know.
I mean, the Lighthouse wasn't going to cancel. I mean, it's a hurricane.
Well, it was the hurricane storms or whatever, but yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, what the league will decide, and we'll give you updates on that as we go through, depending on if that has an effect.
Yeah, back to the game, though.
Yeah, back to the game, of course, 4th down here. The Patriots going for it on 4th down and 12. There's a rush by Rojo, loses the ball as an incomplete pass and a turnover on down. Well, there is a flag on the play. So we'll see what the referee calls here. That's the question. You're right. It may be intentional grounding here. Did the ball... did the ball get past the line of scrimmage when he tossed it? Was there like potentially anybody who could have caught that? So you may be right about it being intentional grounding. That'd be a loss of a down. Yep, intentional grounding it is. It's a loss of a down, and the Lions take over.
5 years experience paid
just to know some rules, they've definitely paid off.
Well, that's
there.
because I broke a lot of them.
That sounds about right. No, I couldn't. I pressed the home button on the app. I went back in. It reset like it crashed. I'll look at the stats later. So timeout called on the field. McDowell again in the shotgun. Man to his left. 1st and 10 for the Lions. Handoff. There's a rush by Nate Hall. Nate Hall loses it and fallen on by the Patriots. Isaac Wallace with the recovery.
That was a good strip.
It wasn't actually a strip. It looked like it was the ball popped out. Nate Hall losing the ball. It popped out of his shoulder there.
Good forced fumble.
And good forced fumble by the Patriots indeed. It's a turnover on downs. 8:07 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Patriots ball, 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
Here's a rush on the right side at number 10 of the Patriots, Isaac Wallace on the rush, and then Lighthouse player is slow to get up. That's 5. Chaz Condra is slow to get up. He's limping off of the field. His left leg is injured. Chaz Condra. Injury timeout. Actually, we'll mention here. Let's see, 5 teams in the North. BGCA should be 4th. Well, what we were saying here is Bowling Green is technically 4th place in the North, but that doesn't make any difference for them getting into the playoffs because there's only the semis, 1st and 2nd seed, and 3rd seed gets into the bowl game. And of course, Colby Martin saying, "What is up, guys?" and Colby Martin one of the more interesting, I believe one of the players in MTAC right now. I'm not actually sure about that because Trent looking at me wondering who he is. Come on, Colby. If you're a player in the team, tell us what team you play for to remind us, because you don't know how many broadcasts we go through. and Chaz Condra back on the sideline. He's going to be looked at just cramping up left leg. 2nd down and 6. A toss quick on the right side. Ruled incomplete. And the score update for Webb, 45-6 with 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. So the Tennessee Heat able to get a touchdown in there, but the Webb School set to win that game as they have going into their game against Swanee next week. Of course, Webb had a tough. Webb, looking at them, they have a tough schedule because of them being a boarding school. They had their game against Hendersonville a bye week, and then they had 7 games straight. 2 of them out of conference, and then 5 in division games. So they've had a tough schedule, been able to overcome. They are undefeated in the South as of now, and it looks like they're going to stay that way for one more week as they go to St. Andrews Swanee on the 20th, which is next Friday.
I had literally recorded as it's happening, and I had emailed that to the guy.
They couldn't take it out for a test drive to see what your problem was?
He wasn't doing it all the time. But my guy was trying to do it.
So Trent, you look at how this game has kind of gone and how close it's getting, how close it really is, just a 2-point game. I mean, it shows how the 2-point conversions are really crucial for either team to get. There's a timeout's called by South Haven.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Doug, you missed 3, and that's a touchdown. So, yeah, 2-point conversions are very crucial, and that's the reason why they're trailing right now is because of 2-point conversions.
And that's why some of the teams have real good advantages, like St. Andrews, Swanee, and FCA. They, of course, have Bowling Green, as well as I believe there's one more team. Christian Community, that's right. So the 4 teams in MTAC who have their field goal kickers, so they have that chance in case they're in an emergency situation that they have to kick 3 points to either tie or win the game. That's a good advantage for those teams to have, but unfortunately.
Do you see FCA?
Yes, FCA. They have Ben Duncan on their team.
Because they had to replace the clutch pack. And apparently, with those type of transmissions, those are notorious.
So play resuming after the timeout called by South Haven. 4th and long for South Haven here as they punt it away. And it's picked up by McMurray at the 35-yard line. Malik McMurray running on the right side. McMurray trying to stay in bounds, and he gets brought down at the 6-yard line. It's a 1st and goal for the Lions. About a 30-yard return for McMurray, senior leading his team well.
And that was number 1, correct? He coming. So I guess he wasn't injured that badly. I mean, I'm sure that happened a while ago. I mean, he's all in a funk right now.
Yeah, McMurray looks like he only sat out for 1 play with his injury there and then came back in, just pushing through and leading his team well, almost like what we saw with the FCA game we called it, where they were at Christian Community. Yep, with Schindell's bruised rib, it looked like, which he's recovered from, but from then had, unfortunately, an injured shoulder that he'll have to have surgery for at the end of the season. That's a rush up the middle by Ricky McDowell. 2nd and goal. 6 minutes left to go in the 3rd. The Lions leading by 2, set to score here. And looks like we're going to get a scoring update. James, if Trent's phone will load it. The final score, the Bowling Green Christian Academy Warriors victorious over the Hendersonville Christian Academy Crusaders, 51-20. So Bowling Green takes a victory, and they have one more game on their season against the Madisonville Defenders. That's at Madisonville next Friday.
They're not passing as much.
Looks like Gabriello was tackled.
Anyway, so I
Oh,
asked
dang.
him to replace the mermaid.
Short of the end zone. 2 yards to the end zone. 3rd down.
And also from the back of our
There's 5 minutes running down on 3rd and goal on the 3-yard line. McDowell with a man to his left. His flags are thrown. Looks like it'll be a false start.
I'm just stating.
Trent, you're losing, man. Trent talking to you about fish and smells of beer, man. Come on. Yeah, the voice of the Patriots telling us that they have a good fish sandwich down here at the concession stand. So that those fumes coming up to the press box, and people craving some good fish sandwiches down there. Well, more especially Trent.
Flag is waved off.
The flag waved off by the official, so it's 3rd down and goal for Lighthouse. And again, we said at the top of the broadcast that both teams know exactly what's at stake. South Haven wins, and they keep their hopes for the semis alive. And Lighthouse wins, they're guaranteed to be in the playoffs. Here's a toss by McDowell on the right side. It is caught! Isaac Wallace of the Patriots not able to get that, and Parker Dillon gets it for the touchdown. Let's see, Parker Dillon is a junior for the Lions.
He's a pretty good junior, I might have to say.
Yeah, one of the 3 leaders on this team for the duration of the game. Actually, the touchdown void. There's an ineligible man downfield, so the Lions on 3rd and goal will bring this back 5 yards.
Well, I just want to say that's going to be quite a duo or quite a package, McDowell and Dillon next year.
Yeah, they're both juniors. They'll lose Malik McMurray, but McDowell and Dillon will have a great combination of seniors next year. So the Lighthouse calls a timeout here. 4:08 left to go in the 3rd quarter. So the Lions lead by 2 and are in the red zone. .408 left to go in the 3rd quarter as it's 3rd down. McDowell with the toss on the right side. It is incomplete, intended for Parker Dillon. And the Lions will go to 4th and goal.
Receiver picked the ball play, pass incomplete. Now 4th and goal for the Lions.
So 4th down and goal here for the Lions. Of course, going to go for it here since they don't have anyone who can kick a field goal. McDowell in the shotgun. Looking for someone to pass to. He's rushed by a Patriot. Going on the right side. Attended pass. Short and incomplete. And it's a turnover on downs. The Patriots take over. Good pressure by the South Haven Patriots, and they take over on their own 8-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for Southampton. Rush on the right side. Wallace on the right side. Got a gain of 6 yards on the play. 2nd down and 4.
Game of 6.
Two more.
Second down and 4. Flags thrown. It's under. The clock's still there. It is.
So what have I missed?
Well, yeah, Trent just stepped aside to see where the fish smell was coming from. He missed a turnover on downs. There was a touchdown by the Lions, but it was voided due to an ineligible man down field call, and they turned it over on downs.
There's also another one, and it's okay, but it's here at Springfield.
2nd down and 8. Flag thrown.
These flags is making this game go on an extra hour, isn't it?
It's a delay of game on the offense and repeat 2nd down. This is reminding us of the Swanee FCA game where the referees were throwing many flags and it lasted longer. That's why we only covered the second half of the Webb FCS game. Speaking of Webb, they were victorious 45-6 over the Tennessee Heat. So the Webb school gets another victory in the South as they head to their final game of the regular season against the St. Andrews Swanee Mountain Lions.
What you just said about the FCS Swanee game?
It was like FCA Swanee. We'll talk about that as a rush up the middle by Vincent. It's a few yards gain on the play. It's 3rd down and 11. I was saying it's the same situation that we saw with FCA and Swanee. That game lasted an extra hour longer than we anticipated because Swanee was known for running out the clock and just running it down and such. But the referees stopped it a lot for penalties on both sides of the ball, so it lasted an extra hour, and that's why we only covered an hour, the second half of the Webb FCS game.
Yeah. Now I remember. I remember what you're talking about now. But that Webb game, from what we were able to film, was the best game.
One of the best games that we have broadcast so far. Rojo able to get out, and Rojo toss it in between the hands of the Patriot. Incomplete. He would have been long gone if he had caught that. Unfortunately, just a mistake made there by Isaac Wallace. But it was good maneuvering by Kobe Rojo under pressure. Looked like he was going to be sacked there, but managed to twist out and release the ball. So at least good for the opportunity there for Wallace to have.
No, it was a great pass by being under that kind of pressure.
You need praying. Start praying. Come on now. Work your magic, brother.
Here's 4th down for the Patriots. It looks like it's going to be punted away by Patino. And that's punted away. McMurray will just let it bounce to the 34-yard line. The Lions back to work. See what McDowell can do here on offense.
Lions will have it. Good field position at the Patriots' 34-yard line. 1st and 10.
Has there been a touchdown this quarter?
I believe there was. Yes, because the score, I believe, was 32-26. So the Lions scored. They got the 2-point conversion there. I'm trying to remember. We should have a box score up here for us, but there has been a score in this 3rd quarter, I can tell you that much, with 42.5 seconds left to go in the 3rd. See what McDowell can do as he tosses out quick to McMurray on the right side, just left alone, and It's tripped up down to the 30, looks like actually the 26-yard line is where they will spot it. So 2nd down and 2. McMurray just left alone on the right sideline. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter, 34-32. The Lions lead the Patriots by a 2-point conversion. One of the closest game we've seen tonight, and a battle for a right to be in the playoffs. Sides of the field switch and only 12 minutes left in regulation for the Lions and the Patriots. Is tossed on the right side, incomplete. It was intended for Parker Dillon. 3rd down and 2.
3rd and 2. The Lions.
Would they beat them? Yep. Wow. That's going to mess up their ranking.
It's 3rd and 2. Here's McDowell, direct snap to McMurray, pulled down in the backfield. The Patriots on him like white on rice. It's 4th down and 6.
First contact. 4th down for the Lions.
So here's 4th down and 6 for the Lions, trying to increase their lead over the Patriots and try to solidify their potential win tonight with 11 minutes left in regulation. Here's McDowell, toss across the middle, almost picked up. Intended for, no, Frankie Gagliano could have intercepted it there. And incomplete. Regardless, it's a turnover on downs and the Patriots have possession.
Frankie Gagliano breaks up the play.
Jake and I were like, this is the dream. It's not real. This can't be this cool. I'm looking at this right now. No. And look at the water. That's a weird looking water. Because the picture is the cloud. But it's not. It's just the way the glacier is.
He's reserved. The 2nd reserve. That's what I'm thinking. Like,
Here's a run up the middle. Vincent for 7 yards.
you could hear that.
So a good tackle. Vincent gets 7 yards there. 2nd and 3. Second down and 3. Ball snapped, handed off. And here's Willis up the middle. First down and more as he's spotted at the 35-yard line.
First down, Patriots.
10 minutes left in regulation as the Patriots march down the field to try and get a lead over the Lions. Here's a run again. There's Xavier Vincent on the left side, staying on his feet down to the 24-yard line. Another 1st and 10 for South Haven.
Telling you, Xavier, man, he's something else.
Xavier Vincent, he's saying a lot on the broadcast. We can't say it enough that he's proving Trent's point more and more if he's the best player in the league. Again, debatable, but at least with how he's playing tonight, he would well qualify to be put in that elected rank.
Okay.
And here's Vincent again to the end zone. Touchdown, South Haven.
What I was about to say is, you hear me on the show say all the time, I can't wait for us to broadcast the South Haven game because I just want to see how they play. And they're impressing me so far.
And South Haven doing very well. And now they've just taken back the lead. Two-point conversion attempt here would make it a 6-point game, tossed up and batted down by the Lions.
You said not today.
9:10 left to go in the game. It's a 38-34 ball game. The Patriots lead by 4. Here's a kickoff, and Lighthouse dropped it there but picked back up. James Reed getting the ball for the Lions, and Lighthouse back to work with only a 4-point deficit. We'll see what Lighthouse can do here. Plenty of time to get back the lead. As McDowell loses the football, and it's picked up by the Patriots, and it's a rush back. No flags. Touchdown, South Haven. Trying to get his number here from the press box. That's 61. Aaron Ref, the senior, 5'7", easily gets the ball, and the Patriots get a bigger lead.
That's a dream as a D lineman to get a scoop and score.
So now a 10-point lead and potentially a 12-point lead for South Haven. The flag thrown here. False start on the offense. They'll bring the 2-point conversion attempt back 5 yards.
Willows love to see the stat on the end of the game, how many flags have been thrown.
That would be interesting to see. There's been a lot of flags.
In the hundreds.
Somewhere around there, at least in hundreds of yards, probably. Especially. Though, of course, the Lions have performed well after getting several penalties in a row, getting touchdowns, big first down gains, everything. Willis in for the 2-point conversion. It's now a 12-point game, 46-34 with 8:55 left to go in regulation. The Patriots and Lions keeping it close.
Watch out, Coach.
Onside kick. There's a flag thrown as the kick went out of bounds. I believe also and they'll spot the ball at the 40-yard line. Excuse me. Some of those sour Skittles crystals got to the back of the throat. That was pretty interesting. 46-34. Patriots lead. It's the Lions on offense at midfield. McDowell in the shotgun. Toss to the right. Caught.
Pass caught.
Parker Dillon brought behind the line of scrimmage, but he's called for forward progress.
Is that a flag?
It's, the south. Not sure if there's a flag on the field,
I don't know if there's a flag.
but they spotted. They spotted all the way behind, a long place behind the line of scrimmage. It looked like he had more forward progress there, Trent.
Yeah, but whistles are below one. I wonder what that is, though. I thought that was a flag.
Yeah, I don't know what that is down there. We'll see how it results.
Maybe someone will trip.
Yeah.
Save a game-winning touchdown.
Just a trip on that towel. Now there's a flag. There's an actual flag that's out there now.
These refs are going to have sore arms tomorrow. All these flags, man.
Now second down and long. We'll see what the official calls. Just a reminder of the last time we were here. Let's see. Neutral zone infraction on the offense. They'll bring this back 5 yards. Second and looks like about 20. One of the cool things that James and I saw when we called the South Haven Madisonville Defenders game last time, way early on the first week of the season, is that the referees had a communication system on them in the high school level, which is very, very beneficial. As the ball is lost by McDowell, muffed snap, falls on it for a loss of 1 yard on the play. Third down and long for Lighthouse as the clock keeps ticking down. 12-point difference between these two teams.
Who said that your dad's here? Both of them. Okay, thanks. Just tell them to stay out of it. All right.
Third down and more than, looks like about third down and 20 as McDowell across the middle, incomplete. Malik McMurray trying to make the one-handed catch there, but nothing doing.
Now fourth down for the Lions.
Fourth down and long. Yeah, their coach is getting everybody into it, especially the crowd trying to get them cheering on their feet. South Haven getting loud here at MLK Junior Park. Fourth and long. Here's McDowell in the shotgun rush from behind, but there is a flag down. See what the... It's another neutral zone infraction on the offense, and they'll bring it back 5 more yards. So about second down, it's fourth down and more than 20. And their second down started with a long deficit, unfortunately. The Lions trying to do something here. South Haven is a 3-man rush. The ball muffed, and McDowell hits it, and the Patriots have the ball on the 25-yard line. Patriots looking to seal the game with another touchdown.
That might have been, I don't know, that might have been a little bit of butterflies in the center. I don't know, because that happened twice in a row, pretty much.
Yeah, it looks like Lighthouse. They'll need a miracle quick, because another touchdown here can make it much more difficult for them to get a comeback, making it a 3-possession game. So South Haven on offense. Here's Vincent on the left side. Xavier Vincent into the end zone for a Patriots touchdown. It's of course Trent Legate wanting Xavier Vincent to be league MVP.
And I just want to say, I've hated Xavier for 5 years, but now I'm cheering him on.
Pleasant View South Haven rivalry.
It's not
course.
fun going up against him. Lining up in the gun.
2-point conversion attempt here for South Haven. Rush on the right side, and 2-point conversion is no good. 52-34 with 6:34 left in regulation. It's a 3-possession game. The Lions in desperation. Here's an onside kick recovered at the 35-yard line by the Lions. Lighthouse back to work, trying to get back from a 3-possession deficit. It's not impossible, of course, Trent, but it's one of the things that's very unlikely to see, especially in 8-man football, is a 3-possession comeback.
I mean, it'd be impressive to say the least, but I mean, that would give a strong case to, give more props to Lighthouse, but no, I'm so confident with my pick right now. I'm not worrying at all. But I did think, kind of go to our in-game analysis, but for right now, I thought Lighthouse would bring more of a, more straight out of the gun kind of just surprise South Haven, but.
Yeah, and they managed to stay close throughout the game. It just looks like Lighthouse is starting to have fatigue get to them, as it's an incomplete pass intended for Parker Dillon, 2nd and 10.
And as you mentioned that, that's also could be going in from the amount of games South Haven has played compared to Lighthouse, where they've had more game time and, they're more rested, know how to, do everything.
Yeah, and of course, Lighthouse has had their set of troubles. They were going to play 2 11-man games early in the season, but they had to forfeit those. They were going to play Hendersonville Christian at Hendersonville, but Hendersonville canceled that game due to the hurricane storms, as McDowell brought down for a huge sack. 3rd down and about 18.
Nate Green with the pressure.
So as we were saying, The Lighthouse, of course, they didn't play any of their games until September 15th at FCA. That was their first game when the rest of the teams had at least had a month's worth of football games. So you're right, Trent, about the less discipline the Lions may have had. But, I mean, it didn't stop them when they played Bowling Green or they played Riverside. They had some pretty high scores up there.
Yeah, which we've talked about that plenty on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we certainly have. As McDowell tosses on the left side to Dylan. Dylan still on his feet. Here's Dylan on the left side, collides with the player, staying on his feet. He's able to do some good juke outs here as he gets put out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Good to stop the clock as the Lions are on midfield on the second down.
Fourth and 5.
So it's actually, sorry, not second down. The down indicator was just false there. It's 4th down and 5 for the Lions at midfield.
And this is more of a James type of question, but I wonder how, what the record is of overall over the years, the South Haven Lighthouse record.
I actually don't believe, because South Haven joined MTAC last year, I don't believe they played Lighthouse until last season because the results. And here's McDowell, gets the first down and more. McDowell still on his feet. Flag thrown at the 30-yard line. It's McDowell down at the 19, but Will's pending the flag. It's thrown at the 30.
From what you were saying, I've played Lighthouse about 3 times, and I didn't play him any last season. So.
Yeah, then they may have.
No, I did play him last season because they whipped the crap out of us.
Yeah, then they may have played South Haven before, like in 2015 and before, and the ball is called back for an illegal block in the back. And that brings it to 4th down. It brings it back to the spot, back 10 yards from the spot of the foul, which is right back where they started, 4th and 5.
Yeah, and the refs are calling a great game. I mean, they're not letting anything slip by. They're calling everything that they see, and hey, the refs are having a good game.
Yeah, the refs are having a good game by calling everything, and of course it is dragging out the game on and on, but it's a good thing the officials are keeping consistency with the rule book. It's 4th and 5, and muff snap again. McDowell trying to keep it on his feet, and the ball is turned over on downs. 5 minutes left in the game, and the clock stopped. So all South Haven has to do now is run down the clock, and they will keep their playoff hopes alive, of course, pending the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty much take a miracle for them to come back. I mean, not really a miracle, but from seeing the way South Haven's playing compared to Lighthouse, they're kind of dragging their feet a little bit. So,
and we'll see what we can do here. The battery is running low on our main camera here, so about, I want to say 3 minutes left in the. When we get down to 3 minutes, we will switch cameras, and the stream will be temporarily shut off. Just be sure to be subscribed to our YouTube channel and refresh constantly to see our update there. But we're going to switch out cameras and head down to the field to be ready for the post-game interviews. So booting up our backup phone here. Well, let me try booting it. Field test.
Just like that joke you made about the schools we were sitting on.
Why do you have to keep bringing up this stuff? What happens off the broadcast stays off the broadcast. The Patriots starting to rushing on 3rd down here, just trying to run down the clock and give Lighthouse less time.
Richie Waters with the Lions. Lost on the play, now 3rd down. About 9.
So looking at the results here, South Haven will keep their playoff hopes alive, but it is not in their own destiny, unfortunately. They're at least guaranteed the bowl game, but what it will come down to is if Lighthouse can perform well against Christian Community next week.
So,
well, actually, no, it may not. If I'm correct, if South Haven wins this game and Lighthouse loses next week, then I believe South Haven would have the number 2 seed in the North because of strength of victory.
That's what I was about to ask. Because wouldn't the board or the head people of MTAC look at it, see the top 3 teams is, let's say, top 3 teams is CCS, and then it's tied Lighthouse and South Haven, but South Haven beat Lighthouse. Wouldn't that put South Haven above? Even with
yes. If Christian Community wins, they're undefeated in the division. They are the 1st seed in the North. If South Haven wins this game, assuming the score holds out, and Lighthouse loses next week, then South Haven is the number 2 seed, and they will travel for the semi to the number 1 seed in the North, which we don't know who it is yet.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned next week. It may come down to a 3-way coin toss. Depends on how it is. So, toss on the left side. It is ruled incomplete by the side judge.
Seriously, it's actual and physically a coin toss.
Yeah.
Incomplete. Turnover on downs.
I
Lions
just put it
football.
on my head and
At the
put a script or
Patriots.
something. You know what I'm saying?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with about 3 minutes left, we're going to stop the broadcast here. It's a turnover on downs for the Lions. We're going to stop the broadcast and switch out cameras, and we will be back when we're down on the field. So stay tuned.